Broadly speaking, the first wave of studies sought to establish correlation between predetermined micro-level social categories, socioeconomic class, age, race or ethnicity, and sex, and particular linguistic variables. One of the early studies which included a look at gender variation was Fisher's study at 1958 of the M variable, that is, pronunciations like singing versus singing. We should observe that there is a long history of both. Another first web study, perhaps the most well-known of all, is Lebov's small-scale investigation of the R variable, Lebov 1966. Lebov believed that R pronunciation after vowels was being reintroduced into New York speech from above, was a feature of the speech of younger people rather than of older people, was more likely to occur as the formality level in speech increased, and would be more likely at the ends of words, fleur, than before consonant fourth. The aforementioned work by Trudgill in 1974 is also a seminal work of the first wave in variation studies. Trudgill investigated 16 different phonological variables in his work Norwich, England. He demonstrated in much the same way as Lebov does in New York City how use of the variance is related to social class and level of formality. The data also suggests that, so far as the ang variable is concerned, its variant use is related not only to social class but also to gender, with females showing a greater preference for an than males, regardless of social class membership. A Detroit study, Soy et al. In 1968 and Wolfram follow-up to the study in 1969 are other first wave studies. The Detroit study investigated that the use of multiple negation as a language variable in that city. It is showed that there is a very close relationship between the use of multiple negation and social class. We noted above that linguistic variables may correlate not only with social variables, but also with other linguistic features. That is, there may be linguistic constraints too. In their discussion of linguistic variation, Wolfram and Passolt present data from early study by Passolt in 1972 to show that it is possible to state how two or more factors or constraints interact to affect the distribution of a variable.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Delila Mahdavia. Now I'm going to explain about the second wave of variation studies. While first wave studies focus primarily on attention to speech as a motivation for variation within one speaker's performance, the second wave studies began to focus on speaker agency while maintaining the centrality of vernacular speech. Such studies sought to explain the variation using ethnographically determined social categories and cultural norms. Social networks in Belfast, the work of the Milroys, is credited as the beginning of the second wave. It looked at certain aspects of speech in three working class areas in Belfast, Northern Ireland. The Milroys were able to show how a stable set of linguistic norms emerge and maintains itself in a community. Gender variation in the second wave. The study focuses on the S variable in the speech of three groups of boys and girls in Reading, England. The S variable in this case is the extension of third-person singular form marking to all other persons. For example, I knows, you knows, we has, and they calls. Jokes and burnouts. This study shows the use of ethnography not only to add certain social categories to be used as variables in the study, but also to interpret the findings of the linguistic analysis. The third wave of variation studies. What spurred third wave from second wave studies is the shift in perspective from investigating how language reflects social identity, often articulated in terms of membership in particular social categories, to how linguistic practices are the means through which speakers position themselves as social beings. These social meanings are not necessarily, in fact, often not at all related to traditional macro-social categories such as race, socioeconomic class, age, or gender. Stance. Variation in language use can thus be analyzed as part of stance taking in addition to being correlated with social variables such as social class, race, and so on, or social networks. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.